young people? Still updating on the Uvalde shooting. This is a teacher that was in there that gave some kind of first-hand knowledge, let's say. And I agree with him when he calls the cops coward and he never should offend them. I 1000% disagree with him when he's calling for more laws. It's just a stupid, ignorant, uneducated position. But I wouldn't expect anything left from a left-wing, school teacher that all they do is, try to corrupt kids. But let's hear his story.
Look at gun violence in America. And we start with
gun violence. We don't have black violence, white violence, Asian violence, but we have gun violence. Like guns are running around just jumping up and doing their own thing. It's their fault. So we call it gun violence. I mean, it's just ridiculous the way that they label shit.
A Uvalde teacher telling for the first time what happened from inside Robb Elementary. That day, 19 students.
I said, if I die, don't let it be in vain.
This morning, Arnulfo Reyes, the fourth grade teacher in room 111 at Robb Elementary School, telling his story for the first time.
Okay, so all he did, honestly, is tell the kids to get under the desk. That's what he's talking about. Don't let me die in vain. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the guy caused this or whatever. The cops caused this for not going in and help. But he's acting like he did some special thing here. He told the kids to hide under their desks and act like they're asleep. That's it. I don't know if there's a door. We're not being told whether there's a door between these adjoining classrooms. If there is a door, he didn't lock it because the shooter walked from the other classroom into his classroom. I wanted to count the kids because he said he had 11 in his class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He has more than 11 kids in his class. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I count 17. He said his whole class was killed. There was 11 kids. I wanted to count that. But anyway.
Teacher in room 111 at Robb Elementary School telling his story for the first time as he recovers in the hospital from 2 gunshot wounds hit during the horrific massacre that took 19 students and 2 teachers.
See, it's a horrific massacre because government failed and didn't do anything. Had government ran in there and he only killed like 2 kids, they would be saying how great government is and how we still need to get the guns. It would have been the same narrative, except now they're saying we got to get the guns because they screwed it up so bad. Even if they had done everything perfect, they would be screaming the same crap they are because the goal is to get guns from good people. It has nothing to do with keeping people or kids safe.
Teachers' lives.
It was our typical morning, and, we ate breakfast together. It was going to be a good day.
Typical morning? They eat breakfast every morning together? I didn't know that. That's a typical morning. Anyway, here we go.
Because it was going to be our day of awards, and some kids in my class that hadn't gotten an award, all year, we're going to get an award that day.
Reyes says the children were enjoying the end of the year celebration, and while some students went home after the ceremony, 11 from his class stayed behind.
Okay, so I must have missed that. Some went home and 11 stayed behind. Wow. Well, to me, that's just another lesson that a school is not a safe place. It's a gun-free zone. It's a hot zone. It's a soft target. It's made that way by government. Government doesn't protect you. It's funny there hasn't been any school shootings in Congress. Isn't that funny? There hasn't been any school shootings in a judge's chambers. It's funny the politicians can secure their places, but somehow it's the gun's fault that kids are getting killed. Come on, wake up, people.
They were watching a movie when all of a sudden gunfire rang out.
So they didn't want to go home and they're watching a movie. So everybody could have went home and they'd rather stay at school, or they just came into school to get a free meal. Or I don't even know if the school paid for the meal. But he says they eat breakfast every morning. I didn't know kids eat breakfast every morning at school.
Kids started asking out loud, Mr. Reyes, what is going on? And I said, I don't know what's going on. But let's go ahead and get under the table. Get under the table and act like you're asleep.
Let's get on That's pretty reassuring. I mean, how about locking the door? How about barricading the door? How about maybe opening a window or getting ready to stack a chair by a window so you can start throwing kids out the window and let them have a chance running free? How about that? If we know the guy's inside, go out the window. If he's inside, go out the window. No. This guy says he didn't want to die in vain, and he told the kids to climb under a table and act like you're asleep. And now he's calling for more laws to fix this. I'm sorry, this guy's an idiot. And you know what? He's probably pretty typical of most teachers teaching our kids.
As they were doing that, and I was gathering them under the table and told them to act like they were going to sleep, is about the time when I turned around and saw him standing there.
The gunman entering classroom 112 at 11:33 a.m., then making his way into 111 through a connecting door.
So if you believe him, this guy, the shooter, if you believe the teacher, because he's gathering them under the table, and then he turned around and the guy was at the door. So if you believe him, this guy shot through these doors before he came in. He came in, and the cops said they found dead people in the hallway, which means the shooter was shooting them in the hallway. They said they found dead people in room 12, and then he went to 111 and killed people in there. So, but if you listen to this teacher in room 111, he was in there gathering the kids under the table, and all of a sudden he turned around and it kind of shocked him that he was standing there. So he must have walked in this room. No kids screamed. No kids ran. He didn't shoot anybody. He just walked in quietly and then got over here and surprised the teacher. Does that make any damn sense?
Opening fire. Reyes shot twice, a bullet hitting him in the arm and lung, and a separate one striking his back. The 17-year teaching veteran hitting the ground.
I want to go back to that because people...
So it's about the time when I turned around and is the table and told them to act like they were going to sleep, is about the time when I turned around and saw him standing there.
So he just saw him standing there. He didn't hear the gunshots. He wasn't scared. He didn't hear gunshots from the room next to him with evidently an open door. He didn't hear gunshots in a hallway where kids were supposedly found dead. I mean, all this is just really becoming so diluted unless government does a good, thorough investigation and is completely transparent. Nobody's going to believe anything. And I know people are coming here kind of attacking the people who are calling conspiracy. I'm not buying in that this was fake and I'm not buying into all that. But I get why people don't believe anything the government says, because it's so bullshit that nothing makes sense for any critical thinking person.
The gunman entering classroom 112 at opening fire. Reyes shot twice, a bullet hitting him in the arm and lung, and a separate one striking his back. The 17-year teaching veteran hitting the ground.
I told my kids to act like they're asleep, so I'm going to act like I'm asleep also. And I prayed and prayed that.
So after he shot, 2 or 3 times, he's saying he told the kids, I'm going to act like I'm asleep now. Didn't yell, didn't get mad, didn't say to the shooter anything. He just, according to him, calmly said to the kids, I'm going to act like I'm asleep too. That doesn't make any damn sense, people.
Hitting the ground.
I told my kids to act like they're asleep, so I'm going to act like I'm asleep also. And I prayed and prayed that I would not hear none of my students talk.
Did you thought you were going to die?
Yes, ma'am.
Then, while the gunman was still in the classroom, Reyes hearing police nearby. According to law enforcement, 7 officers were in the building by 11:35 a.m. They took gunfire and retreated. Reyes says a child in the connecting classroom, 112, called out for help.
Once again, doesn't make sense that the teacher supposedly, at least this teacher, knew cops were in a hallway, knew that the shooter was shooting at the cops, which means he can't be at 2 doors at once. He had to be either in this door with a wall here, or he had to be at this door with a wall here. If he's in here and they're hearing cops, why didn't the kids run out? Well, Rick, because there's gunfire. Okay. I don't know. I don't like laying around being a sheep. If he's in here and this teacher told his kids just to play dead underneath the table, yet all his kids got killed. So he shot all 11 kids in this room, 111, shot 11 kids, shot the teacher 2 or 3 times. The teacher lives and all the kid died. Man. All right, here we go.
And I prayed and prayed that I would not hear none of my students talk.
Did you thought you were going to die?
Yes, ma'am.
Then, while the gunman was still in the classroom, Reyes hearing police nearby. According to law enforcement, 7 officers were...
Look at all these cops. All the footage shows cops and cops. Now remember, while these 19 cops were in there were a bunch of cops outside arresting parents, refusing to let parents go in, handcuffing, tasing, and pepper spraying parents. I mean, it's just crazy. And cops are defending these cops, saying they're still heroes. They were following orders. It was really crazy. They're not cowards. They're all good. It's just crazy.
In the building by 11:35 a.m. They took gunfire and retreated. Reyes says a child in the connecting classroom, 112, called out for help.
So the shooter walks through 112 because he entered in 112, didn't kill everybody in that room, shot a bunch of them, walked to room 111, killed all those kids and shot the teacher. And then while he's in this room, 2 kids are calling 911 numerous times from both rooms. Because I think they said earlier a kid from 111 called. So that kid must have died or bled out because the cops waited so damn long. That's another thing we're not hearing. How many kids would have lived had they received basic first aid, stop the bleeding? How many kids bled out that would have lived with quicker medical aid? Remember, when the cops were waiting and scared and saying, we need backup, we don't have enough equipment, we were outgunned, we were following orders, whatever the excuse of the day is for not going in there and being a coward, cops or kids were bleeding out and dying, and they knew it. And I don't care if they didn't know it for sure and they didn't know somebody was alive. It doesn't matter. There was kids in a classroom and the shooter went in there and was shooting 6 different times while the cops were in the hallway. There's just no excuse for this.
One of the students from the next door classroom was saying, "Officer, we're in here. We're in here."
So he heard somebody yelling from the other room to the officers, so he can still hear. A lot of times when you hear loud rifle fire in there, you get what's called auditory exclusion, or you have ringing in the ear and you can't hear nothing. Obviously, that didn't happen because he's hearing kids in the other room.
And then, but they had already left. And then,
But they had already left. What does he mean they had already left? Did the cops come and leave? See, I think what he's saying here is when they exchanged fire, the cops ran away, because we're kind of getting that as soon as they got close, he started shooting out the door. And instead of charging him and attacking him and going straight to him and returning fire, suppressive fire, busy fire, overwhelming fire, and dominating and going in, they ran away. But Rick, they were here. All right, whatever.
he got up from behind my desk, and he walked over there and he shot over there again.
The gunman going back into room 112 and firing more shots. At 11:58 a.m., children from other classrooms seen evacuating the school. At 12:03 p.m., a child from room 112 calling 911, telling dispatch where she was. By this point, 19 officers were inside the building, but no one went in.
So we have a kid calling 911 on the floor, acting dead with the shooter in the room. We have a teacher who's alive in the other room that said he couldn't get up, but he was able to tell the kids, I'm going to play like I'm asleep too.
At 12:10, 12:13, and 12:16, more 911 calls.
Man, it's just freaking outrageous that all these kids were in there crying for help over 911 while 19 cowards stood out in the hallway with guns, bulletproof vests, training, all kind of equipment, and nobody had the balls to go. Rick, they were following orders. You ain't giving me an order not to go in and help a kid getting killed and slaughtered. That ain't flying for me, but whatever.
Calls.
Is there anybody inside of the building? Tyler is advising he is in in a room full of victims at this moment.
So they didn't say dead victims, they said victims, which means they're people that are alive and injured and need medical help. Another reason they should have forced entry.
You said you were praying. Do you remember what you were praying for? What you were saying in your prayers?
I prayed the Lord's Prayer. I prayed my Hail Mary.
Reyes says eventually he heard officers come back, telling the gunman through the door they want him to come out to talk, that they don't want to hurt anybody, but that...
Why the hell or as a cop, you can get 19 cops out there, you got guns, and you're talking through a door saying, come on out, we don't want to hurt you. Are you serious? Talking is done. He's killing kids. Remember, these cops said they had to walk through dead bodies in the hallway, blood everywhere. And they're standing there having a conversation with dude saying, hey, we don't want to hurt you. Are you freaking kidding me?
Then silence again. More 911 calls, including from Reyes's classroom. But it isn't until 12:50 p.m., 1 hour and 17 minutes after the gunman entered the classrooms, that Border Patrol busts in, killing the shooter.
After that, it was just bullets everywhere. And then I just remember Border Patrol saying, get up. And I couldn't get up.
Did you feel abandoned in that moment by police, by the people who are supposed to protect you?
By the people who are supposed to protect you. Woman, you're pretty cute, but you're pretty stupid. You're asking by the police that are supposed to protect you. Police have no duty to protect you, people. The Supreme Court has ruled in numerous cases they do not have to protect you. If they do protect you and they accidentally kill you, it's no problem. If they decide to protect you and then change their mind, they can stop. They can run into the hallway and they don't have to enter. Cops are not there to protect you. They're there to protect themselves and government. Period. Stop with the lies.
In that moment by police, by the people who are supposed to protect you?
Absolutely. After everything, I get more angry because you have a bulletproof vest. I had nothing.
Not only did they have a bulletproof vest, they had guns. They had handguns, they had ammo, they had 19 officers, they had plenty of backup. They could have put 10 cops in each door and entered those rooms, totally overwhelming him. They could have done it immediately. Nope, had to wait for backup, officer safety.
I had nothing. You're supposed to protect and serve. There is no...
Another idiot statement by a teacher, an educator, who doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. Yeah, they're supposed to protect. No, they're not, you freaking idiot.
excuse for their actions.
I agree, there's no excuse. I think they're cowards. But I think they're cowards because they're claiming to be men, and they had guns, and they had the ability to act, and they chose a bunch of excuses not to act and let innocent children get slaughtered. I'm not so upset that they're government and they should have went in because it's their job and protect and serve and all that shit. I don't even know why the hell we have police. If they don't have a duty to protect, why the hell are they carrying guns? And why do we need them? I mean, think about it. Is the only reason we need them so they can give tickets and run around and collect revenue? They don't need guns for that.
And I will never forgive them. I will never forgive them.
How many students were in your classroom when the shooter came in?
11 students.
So the shooter killed every single student in your classroom.
Yes.
Killed every student, but he lived. And he said he didn't want to die in vain. And the only thing he said he did was tell them to climb under their desk and act like they're asleep. Look, you people are some people are going to get mad at me. He was shot. He was a teacher. It wasn't his fault. But bullshit. The door wasn't locked. There was a bunch of failures by government. He works for government. He's been through the training. He didn't freaking help these kids. He didn't do shit. He didn't try to attack the shooter and take his gun. He didn't plan. He didn't hide around a corner and figure out where the cop was at. He didn't try to get any kids out the window. I can sit here and say a whole bunch of things that this idiot did not do. But the media is going to make him out to be some hero because he shed a little blood because he got caught with his pants down and he didn't save one damn kid. That ain't no hero in my book, and 19 cops standing in a hallway ain't no hero in my book.
Yes, man. That's when I got you thinking, you know. This family lost one. This family lost I lost 11 that day.
Now he's trying to say they're kids. So he's comparing his loss of 11 students is the same as the parents losing a kid. He kind of goes in the idiot category again, but okay.
And I just went to my parents and said, I'm sorry. I tried my best.
I tried my best. I told the kids to lay down and act like that's my best. Losers are always whining about their best. That's my best? Get under the table and act like you're asleep?
What I was told to do. Please don't be angry with me.
Reyes says no training could have prepared them for this.
Oh, now he's going to be an expert in training. No training. Really? I guarantee you training would, if you follow the training, I guarantee you if you had a gun, you probably wouldn't have known how to load it. You probably wouldn't have had it on you. You'd have had it hidden somewhere. You'd have had it locked up. You'd have forgot the combination. There would have been 1,000 reasons. Even if you had a gun. That's why all these people saying arming teachers. Most teachers are left-wing, anti-gun, anti-self-defense. They believe in big government and they want government to save them. And they keep seeing these slaughters where government fails. And then they think the answer is take guns away from good people and pass more laws. That'll keep us safe. That's why you're always getting your dumbass kids killed, because you're a dumbass. Not the kids aren't dumbasses. You're a dumbass for getting them killed.
Even though the school had extensive protocols, he says laws have to change.
Oh, it's the law's fault. That's it.
It all happened too fast. Training, no training, all kinds of training. Nothing gets you ready for this. We trained our kids to sit under the table. And that's what I thought of,
Well, that's a dumbass training. Obviously, dumbass training. And if you train to survive a freaking windstorm when you're on a bridge by jumping off the bridge to your death, that's not a good plan. That's dumbass training. Having a kid lay under a table when a guy's coming in to shoot is dumbass training. It's kind of like they used to teach me as a kid to climb under my desk and hold my knees when a nuclear bomb was coming. And that was going to keep me safe. It's stupid. It's dumb. It doesn't do a damn thing. But you know what? Idiots like this guy believe it.
The time, but we set them up to be like ducks. You can give us all the training you want, but it's gun laws have to change.
Laws have to change. How many laws did this guy break? Shot his mother, stole a car, went and shot at 2 different buildings that are occupied, endangered multiple people, recklessly discharged a firearm, possessed a firearm in a no-gun zone. Ooh, that's a biggie. Walked on a school ground with a gun, loaded gun. Oh, that's a biggie. He was in a no-gun zone. Walked in a school that he wasn't authorized to go in. Oh, shit, now we got trespassing and burglary. Shot and killed kids. Oh, those are some more laws. Went in and shot more kids. Oh, there's some more laws. Shot at the police, according to the story we're getting. Those are some more capital murder, attempted capital murder. How many laws did this guy violate? And this raving idiot thinks more laws would have stopped this. You are a freaking idiot. I don't know how else to say it.
It won't never change unless they change the laws.
Reyes says he doesn't think he can ever return to a classroom, but he's making it his mission to honor the lives of his students and 2 of his fellow teachers.
Yeah, honor the lives of them. We'll make more laws and ruin the country and make more sheep and more defenseless people and have more no-gun zones and more kids will die. That's a good way to honor them. All right, this guy's a complete freaking idiot. Uvalde school teacher, wounded teacher, speaks out for the first time. Adolfo Reyes. Reyes, you are a freaking liberal, left-wing nutbag that if you think more laws are going to stop a guy that violated no less than 50 to 100 laws and killed all these kids, and somehow your dumbass thinks passing more laws will help you and would have kept you safe. Wow. You get the freaking idiot of the month award. Let me tell you that. We'll end that there.